Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out. We are back here on the Reed Report because the trade deadline is over, the All-Star break is over. So that means we only have about 25, 26 games remaining in the NBA season. And we didn't do predictions in the beginning of the season. I just found the NBA. I didn't watch as much in the beginning of the season because it's just, to me, it's just not as interesting, and it's just, as far as like the play overall, to me, it's just not that interesting. But we are at the home stretch, or nearing the home stretch of the season. So without further ado, what we're going to do is get into some postseason predictions, post NBA All-Star break, post trade deadline. Now that the teams are pretty much solidified, no more trades, no more, you know what I'm saying? No more trades, and the teams pretty much, for the most part, got to roll with who they got. They got to roll with the guys that they have, such as the Lakers, who are always in the mix about trades, which is the most annoying thing as a Laker fan, because I believed in the team that they came into the season with. I believe that team could win about 50 games, and we're going to see if I still do. We know that they are currently ninth in the West in the play-in position, a position that, as a fan, I really hope that they can avoid this season. And who else do we have? We have the Milwaukee Bucks, a team that's been struggling since Doc Rivers has been the coach, and even a little bit before that. They just have, pretty much the entire season, they haven't been the same team that we've known them to be, especially defensively. Boston's still looking good. The Clippers are looking good, looking like a top team. So we got a bunch of teams. We're gonna predict the standings. We're gonna predict the first round, well, the play-in first. We're gonna predict the play-in. We're gonna predict the first round, second round, conference finals, and NBA finals. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that. So we're going to start things off in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. To me, always the least interesting, conference. That's just been the case for quite some time. The Eastern Conference has not always been the marquee conference where you really look forward, especially to first round matchups, because things just look like you can pretty much guess what the standings are going to be even before the All-Star break and before the trade deadline. Somewhere in December, you can pretty much guess, okay, this is how things are going to shape up. Out East, that's, of course, saying barring any injuries or anything like that, that always plays a factor. But the East has always been the least interesting, but this time around, I don't think so. We're gonna start there first, but according to what I have some interesting predictions, especially in the first round of the East. First of all, here are my standings right here. My standings for the East: I got the Boston Celtics finishing 62-20. I got them finishing first in the East. I think Milwaukee will bounce back. I think they will be fine. I think they will win 54 games. Cleveland will be the third seed at 52 games. I got the Knicks finishing fourth with 51 wins. 76ers, Joel Embiid, of course, injured. I'm assuming he's going to come back and he's going to make an impact. It just feels, what I'm saying, they got the Buddy Hield trade, and you're going to see how I feel about them when we do the playoffs. But it's just something about that. I like Philly early on, but after that injury, I just don't know. But I got them finishing fifth with 49 wins. I got the Heatles finishing sixth with 48 wins. Indiana will finish with 47 wins. I got the Magic with 44 wins. And then ninth in the conference, I got the Chicago Bulls finishing with 40 wins, and I got the Atlanta Hawks finishing with 38 wins. So those are my standings for the Eastern Conference, and here are my play-in predictions. I got the Atlanta Hawks beating the Chicago Bulls in the single elimination game, the 10 versus 9. The Hawks are, when I think play-in, I do think Lakers, but I also think Atlanta Hawks. They are play-in veterans, I guess you could say. So I got the Atlanta Hawks beating the Bulls to play for the 8 seed. And I got the 7-seeded Pacers defending their crown, defending their spot against the 8-seeded Magic. I got the Pacers beating the Magic, and I got the Magic beating the Hawks and the for the 8 seed in the play-in tournament. So those are my play-in predictions. And now, you know what I'm saying, I got the same seeds retaining. I got the Hawks and Bulls out, and I got the Pacers and Magic keeping their spots. And in the first round of the playoffs, here we go. First round of the playoffs. We got those top-seeded Celtics against the bottom-seeded Magic. Of course, the East is not the land of upsets, especially in the first round. You won't really see that out East. You won't really see upsets like that. So I got the Celtics beating the Magic, but I will say this. Orlando takes 2 off of Boston. That's my prediction. I got the Bucks matching up with the Pacers, a team that has had Milwaukee's number this season. And I believe one of the players for me, I think Milwaukee said, well, we'll see them again in the playoffs. And it does feel destined that these two teams meet in the first round. I'm just trying to look at the head-to-head between the two teams. So these two teams have faced off 5 times in the regular season, with Milwaukee only winning 1. And one of those face-off came in the in-season tournament. They faced off 5 times, and Indiana has taken 4 out of 5 from the Milwaukee Bucks. So I do believe these two teams will face off in the playoffs, and I'm going to take the Milwaukee Bucks to survive this series 4-3. I believe it will go 7. Indiana is that team that can scare you. And they will scare the Milwaukee Bucks by pushing them to Game 7. And I'm going to have the Heat and the Cavs, 6 versus 3. Heat versus Cavs in the first round. It's so hard to bet against the Miami Heat. It's hard to bet against the Heat. And I'm not going to start today. I do like how the Cavs are playing right now. They're playing some pretty good basketball, but you keep hearing all the rumblings about Donovan Mitchell, like he's definitely out after this season. He never really wanted to be in Cleveland. He was traded there. So I'm going to take the Heat to win this series 4-1. I believe they'll end it in 5, and Donovan will be for sure out of Cleveland after this season. And last but not least, in the first round, I got New York Knicks and 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers. Like I said, man, I know they got Buddy Hield out in Philly, but I just don't know about Joel. The Sixers are a team that I like, but it's just hard for me to get behind them with Joel being injured and you just not knowing in general when he comes back. So I'm going to take the New York Knicks to win this series in 7. I got the Knicks over the Sixers in 7 games in the first round. So now that leaves us with 4 teams remaining. We're going to stay in the East and just finish it out before we go out West. And I am going to take the Boston Celtics to beat the New York Knicks in 7 games in the second round. These are the 2 teams that will meet my prediction in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I think the Celtics will survive this series. The Knicks will put up a fight, but I just don't have them upsetting the Boston Celtics. So I'm going to take Celtics in 7. And then we got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat. The Milwaukee Bucks kryptonite are the Miami Heat. That is their kryptonite. That is a team that they've always struggled against. I believe it all started in the bubble when the Heat upset the Bucks. Was it the first round or second round? It was the second round. It was the second round. And then Milwaukee did get their get back on their way to winning that championship the following year. But then we also saw last year where Giannis and them lost to the Heat again. And that may have been a year, may have been 2022 as well. But I feel like Miami has gotten the best of these playoff matchups. They have gotten the best of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks do have that kryptonite. It is the Miami Heat. Are we going to see a Celtic versus Heat 3rd straight season in the Eastern Conference Finals? I'll save the suspense and say no. I'm going to take the Milwaukee Bucks to upset the Miami Heat, although the Heat will be the betting favorite. They will be a lot of people's favorite to win this series if it happens. And my prediction is Milwaukee will win this series 4-2. They'll beat them in 6, coming back with a vengeance. I believe Milwaukee will get things figured out, and they will advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they will meet the Boston Celtics, a matchup that we all knew was what was coming in the beginning of the season when the Bucks acquired Damian Lillard. This is the Eastern Conference matchup. These are the top 2 teams. We like Philly, but we just unsure about Philly. So it was Bucks and Celtics. This was destined to happen. According to the Reed Report, though, just like a lot of other people, I never saw Milwaukee as a shoo-in just because they got Dame, because when they got Dame, they had to give up defense and Drew Holiday. They had to give something up, sacrifice something by getting Dame. So I'm going to take the Celtics to win this series in 7 games and advance to the NBA Finals. I got Boston over Milwaukee, 4 Boston, 3 Milwaukee. Celtics in 7. All right, now we are out west. Go west, young man. We're out in the Western Conference. We just wrapped up the East, and we know that we got the Celtics awaiting their opponent in the NBA Finals. This is the Reed Report NBA post-All-Star predictions. Be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to share this video. Comment below what you guys think, who you believe will be in the NBA Finals, your matchups, and everything, etc., etc., etc. But we're going to continue things on in the West. Continuing on in the West, where the Lakers, in my opinion, should be fine now. They got Spencer Dinwiddie. It looked like things are going to work out with Spencer. It looks like LeBron is just going to push it these last, 25 regular season games and into the playoffs. I honestly, if they are pushing as hard as I think they're about to do for the NBA Finals, I don't see LeBron James playing in the Olympics. I see him playing, but I don't see him playing. I see him taking that Kobe role of 2008. I just don't think his ankle and his age can handle it. But we also got the Clippers, who started things slow, who started off slow with like 6 or 7 straight losses when they acquired James Harden. Now they are a top team in the West, not far off from the number 1 spot. They were the number 1 team for one day at one point of the season, not too long ago. Timberwolves has been consistently the top team throughout the season. That was a shocker for me because I truly didn't see that coming. Oklahoma City, a team that I did see coming. Last year, I knew that they were coming. I knew that they would be a top team and not just some team that was just, borderline playoffs in the play-in. I knew that they would be a legit team throughout the regular season. So there's a lot more teams. The West, like I said, is always the most interesting of the conferences. So honestly, without further ado, let's knock out the West. It's a tough task, but let's give it a try. Let's knock out the West, and let's see who the Boston Celtics will be playing in the NBA Finals according to the Reed Report. Like, share, comment, subscribe. So here are my final standings for the Western Conference. This is how I think things will finish out as the season winds down. I got the Timberwolves maintaining the 1 spot with 55 wins. I believe 55 will be the number to be the number 1 team out west. I got the Nuggets with 53 wins. Also the Clippers with 53 wins, but the Nuggets will win the tiebreaker. I got the Thunder with 51 wins as the 4 seed. So those 4 teams will have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Road to the NBA Finals goes through Minnesota. I got the Lakers, believe it or not. And I'm not just saying this as a fan. I'm saying this as a person who just sit back and sometimes watch this team play and say, how are you this inconsistent? How are you this inconsistent? You are way better. That is where I agree with Skip Bayless. You are way better than this. This team don't need trades. They are good enough as they are, in my opinion, with the team that they have. When you see what they did after the All-Star break last year, I was saying this team right here, if you give them a full 82 games, they could win you about 55, 54 games. It's not looking that way right now at just 30-26, but I believed in this team, not just as a fan, because trust me, I'll give it to the Lakers as if I were someone who couldn't stand the Lakers, and this is my team. This is the team I've rooted for so many years. So I just don't understand how they can be so up and down, so inconsistent when I know that they are better than what they're playing like. But I do got the Lakers climbing from 9 play-in all the way to 5, avoiding the play-in altogether. They really need to do that. I know I always say that, and they are, you know what I'm saying, like their first time in the play-in was a few years ago where they beat the Warriors to maintain the 7th spot. Last year they beat the Timberwolves to maintain the 7th spot. So they are play-in vets. They are the greatest play-in team of all time, whatever that means. You don't want to see the Lakers in the play-in, but I don't want to see the Lakers in the play-in. There's a difference. I don't want them in the play-in. So avoid the play-in. I got the Lakers winning 50 games. I got the Suns also winning 50. These two teams, I believe, play each other once more. I think the Lakers will win the tiebreaker, and they will be the 5 seed, and the Suns will also avoid the play-in. And then I got the Dallas Mavericks finishing 7th, so they will be in the play-in tournament. They will finish with 49 wins. And I got the Sacramento Kings finishing with 48 wins. They will also be in the play-in trying to maintain their 8th seed. So those are my top 8 teams. 7 and 8 have to defend, of course, and the teams that they will have to defend against. I got the New Orleans Pelicans finishing with 45 wins. They will be number 9. And I got the Golden State Warriors bouncing back. They'll finish with 43 wins, so they will be number 10. So without further ado, let's get to the play-in tournament and let's knock out the playoffs. So I got the Pelicans and Warriors, 9 versus 10. I really like New Orleans. They're not very good defensively, but I really like them. And I really like how the Warriors just play basketball in general, but I'm going to take the Pelicans to beat the Warriors in the 9 versus 10 single elimination game. Yes, I know that means I have the Warriors out of the playoffs altogether. They will not make it. I'm calling it now. I know it's blasphemous. I know it's sacrilegious. I know it's all those things, but this is how the Reed Report sees things shaping out. Golden State out of the playoffs. They will not get in. Pelicans over Warriors. 7 versus 8. Mavericks are defending their 7th seed against the Sacramento Kings, which means the Mavericks are fighting for the right to play the Nuggets. The Mavericks and the Kings fighting for the right to play the Nuggets, the defending champs, in the first round, where the loser will be playing the Pelicans for the right to play the Timberwolves. And I'm going to take the Mavericks to beat the Kings in the 7 versus 8, which means now you have the Kings fighting the Pelicans to maintain their playoff spot. Pelicans versus Kings. I just like the Pelicans. I know it's tough. I live out here in Sac, and I know they love their Kings, like the beam. I'm with it. But I just like the Pelicans. If this is how it's going to shape out to be, this is who I'm taking. Pelicans over Kings. The Pelicans will get the 8th spot, and they will play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. So that is the play-in tournament. So let's keep it going because Boston is waiting for their finals opponent. So in the first round, Pelicans versus Timberwolves. Top-seeded Wolves versus bottom-seeded Pelicans. And like I said in the beginning, the East and the West are 2 different animals, man. There's not many upsets that's really going to take place in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. There are not many. In the West, it's a whole different thing. It's different because the landscape is just different out West, and it's always been for as long as I've been watching basketball. Pelicans will come close, but I got the Wolves beating them in 7. Minnesota, you can't do all that work in the regular season and then just go home and lose in the first round being a top seed. So I got the Pelicans falling to the Timberwolves in 7 games. Rudy, Cat, Ant-Man and company, they will maintain. They will make it to the second round. And then I got the Mavericks and Nuggets in the second round of the conference finals. Let me rephrase that. The defending champion Nuggets. These are your defending champion folks. So we got Jokic versus Luka in the first round. And I'm here to tell you an upset is happening. I know. Just like I got the Warriors out of the playoffs, if you're listening to this is blasphemous, sacrilegious, unbelievable. But I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks to beat the Denver Nuggets if this matchup happens. I got Luka over Jokic 4-3 in 7. Give me Dallas. Give me Dallas over Denver. So that means after that, we got 3 versus 6, a rematch of last year's first round matchup. Kawhi Leonard got injured and couldn't go in the playoffs. Clippers versus Suns, KD versus Kawhi. The West. The West is going to just be enjoyable to watch in the first round, especially if these matchups happen. Kawhi versus KD, first round. We getting it early, not even pay-per-view. You ain't got to pay for it. But I'm taking the Clippers this time around. I'm taking the Clippers this time around to beat the Phoenix Suns. The Clippers will get their get back. I'm taking Clippers over Suns in 7. Phoenix caught them slipping last year. They caught them slipping with no Kawhi Leonard. But assuming everyone is healthy, give me the Clippers. Assuming everyone is healthy. So that means we got Lakers, 5-seeded Lakers, the underdogs, against the 4-seeded Thunder. Lakers are not true underdogs in this series. Every time the Lakers have struggled and played Oklahoma City, the Thunder has been the team that they were able to bounce back against, seems like. So, of course, I'm taking the Lakers to win this series over the Thunder. I like the Thunder, but I don't think they're championship ready yet. I don't think they're there quite yet. So I'm going to take the Lakers. So I got 3 series going 7. But this series right here will go 6. Lakers will beat Thunder in 6 in the first round of the West playoffs. And then we got the second round. Second round of the playoffs. We got the top-seeded Wolves hosting the 5-seeded Lakers. Of course. Lakers. I don't think the Lakers have beaten the Wolves at any point this regular season. Not that that's just what this is based off. But the Wolves are the one team that can match them when it comes to height. They are, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're the only team, but the Wolves are a pretty long team. They're a long team, but I think the Lakers find that height. You know, it's different. Like I said, it's different in the course of a 7-game series when you got to see a team 4 times at the least and 7 at the most. Minnesota could win the first game. I could see that. But I think the Lakers will win in 7. I think Minnesota, the Wolves are good enough to push this series to 7, and I think the Lakers will get the Timberwolves in 7 games. LeBron don't lose game 7s. He's never lost a game 7, and he ain't going to start this year. So I'm going to take the Lakers over the Wolves in 7. So that means we got a familiar foe in the second round matchup. Clippers versus Mavericks. How many times have we seen this? Luka versus the Clippers. People love to talk about how Luka owns the Clippers, but I don't think Luka has ever beaten the Clippers in the playoffs. He's won by 50. He's hit game-winning buzzer beaters, but if my memory serves me correctly, he's never beaten them in the playoffs. I saw the Clippers still beat him in the bubble. I also saw Luka take a 2-0 lead in LA and go back home to Dallas, and they lost that series in 6 games? They lost 4 straight after being up 2-0. So he don't really own the Clippers. He have big games, but is it really a rival if you've never won? I first heard KG say that against the Hawks back in the day when the 8-seeded 37-win Hawks pushed the Celtics to 7. In the very next year, people were talking about rival. But the Hawks ain't never beat him. So how are we talking about a rival? Luka versus the Clippers. And I'm going to take the Clippers to maintain that dominance over Luka Doncic. I got Clippers over Mavericks. Ooh, and Kyrie. Clippers are just too, then there's also James Harden, who I don't believe in the playoffs. But I'm still, because of Kawhi Leonard, and he has that pedigree. He has that championship pedigree. 2-time NBA Finals, 2-time champ, Two-time finals MVP, I was going to say the first time. Been to the finals a few times. But I'm taking Clippers over Mavericks in 6. I wouldn't be surprised. It might go to 7, but I'm going to stick with 6. I'm going to take Clippers to beat them in 6. So that means we have a LA Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and Clippers. I think I've been down this road before with these predictions. When is it going to happen? Is this the year that we finally get the LA Western Conference Finals? Lakers versus Clippers before the Clippers move into their nice big new stadium or arena, whatever you want to call it, where they want to put the high school jersey of every California basketball team. Be my guest. Just make sure you hang up a championship banner there while you at it. Shots fired. Anyway, Lakers versus Clippers. Man, this is tough because I've always liked the Clippers, you know what I'm saying, as if I'm being objective and I just look at the team on paper, this is a championship team. They just can't stay healthy. They just can't stay healthy, man. I would have loved to have seen how 2021 would have gone had Kawhi didn't get injured. They made it to the conference finals, lost to the Suns, but I would have loved to see how it would have gone. And then we got the Lakers. Like I said, man, people can talk you can talk all you want about how the Clippers own the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? They've beaten us so many times in the last 12, 13 years. But the playoffs will be a lot different. It'll be a lot different when you have to see a team consistently 4 times at the least, 7 at the most. And 4 times at the least, 7 at the most with James Harden, I don't think the Clippers can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. So I'm going to take the Lakers to win this series in 7. Of course, I'm taking the Lakers. I got Lakers over Clippers in 7. So that means the NBA Finals will be the race to 18. Some people don't think it's a race of 18 because they don't count the Lakers bubble championship. But I do. So this is the race to 18. Lakers, NBA Finals, Lakers versus Celtics. This is that old rival. Greatest rivalry in sports right here. None better. Because this is like the one rival. You got your Cowboys and Eagles or Cowboys and Giants, but those two teams can't meet in the finals or the Super Bowl. You got your Yankees and Red Sox and the Cardinals and Cubs, but those teams can't meet in the World Series because they are division rivals. They play in the same league. But this rival right here, opposites. They play in opposite conferences. This right here is the greatest rival in sports. I know some people throw in soccer. I'm just counting what I watch. This is the greatest rival. We're going to get our West, we're going to get our Los Angeles Conference Finals, and we're going to get our Lakers versus Celtics NBA Finals. And I am going to take, and we could have gotten this last year, but both teams lost in the conference finals, and we had to settle for Heat and Nuggets. Heated Nuggets, whatever. But this year, we ain't settling. We getting Lakers, we getting Celtics. The question is, who wins? Of course, I'm taking the Lakers. I'm not going to put the Lakers in the NBA Finals just to have them lose. Taking the Lakers over the Celtics in 7. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, 0-2 in NBA Finals. Warriors got them a couple years ago. Lakers will get them this year. I got the Lakers winning this series. There'll be no Kobe Bryant text this time around, Jason Tatum. He ain't with you for this one. He's a Laker through and through. The last time the Lakers won the championship in front of fans, it was against this franchise, and we're doing it again. So those are my picks. Those are my NBA picks. Play-in, the standings, play-in, first, second, conference finals, NBA finals. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Peace.